Welcome to this week's episode of The BreakDown. I'm Mike.
And I'm Austin. We just want to remind you guys to check out our blog, thedailyriff.weebly.com. We have some great sports articles, more to come, and we also have some great content on politics, music, technology, everything you're looking for. We also want to let everybody know that next week there will be no show due to the Christmas holiday. No show next week due to the Christmas holiday.
So to give you all a little preview, we're going to be talking about on today's show. In the NFL, we're talking about, is this the end of an era for Seattle? The catch rule, what we think is defined as catch, the Jaguars, and we'll be talking about the Falcons Saints game coming up this week. In the NBA, we'll be talking about the Pelicans a little bit and their recent struggles, the Rockets and how hot they've been of late. And in baseball, we're going to give you some predictions on some of the big free agents out there, and we're going to be talking about the Evan Longoria trade that just happened today. So to start off, is this the end of an era for Seattle?
I think it is the end of an era. Let me tell you, Seattle for the last couple of years has been the team that everybody looks for consistency, being a contender, and they had a couple Super Bowl runs, 2 rings I think. Huh? No, they had one ring
and then 2 appearances, 1 ring.
Yeah, so they've been great team to model your franchise after. But this defense is really starting to fall apart. You got the injuries with Chancellor and Richard Sherman, and you got Earl Thomas has been banged up the last couple of seasons. I think it's time to blow this team up and start over. Keep Russell Wilson, obviously he's the face of the franchise, but defensively they're just not the same scary threat that they used to be.
I agree. I think Russell Wilson definitely. Keep him no matter what. He's your franchise quarterback. Those guys don't come around that often.
Yeah.
He's the franchise. You keep him no matter what. And honestly, I think definitely Sherman trade, Chancellor trade, maybe even Earl Thomas trade, but I would keep Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner is one of the best linebackers in this league.
Oh, he's a monster.
You don't find guys like him that often. They found him in the 3rd round when they drafted him. So definitely
some guys they can keep.
Of course, you don't want to trade everybody.
Yeah.
But I feel like the 2 guys you really want to keep, to be the cornerstones of your offense and your defense, would be Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner, because it's not these 2 guys' fault why this team has struggled this year.
You look at their record; they're 8-6, but they're just not as scary like they used to be. Teams used to dread going to Seattle and playing that tough environment.
Los Angeles put up 42 in Seattle.
That's what I'm saying.
Not in Los Angeles, at Seattle.
I remember a couple years ago when they won the Super Bowl. The Saints played there, and I was terrified. And the Saints were undefeated. That they were, it's a tough place to play. You can't win there. It's loud. You got the field conditions being in Seattle. It used to be a scary place to play, but now nobody's afraid. You got Jacksonville beat them. Nobody's afraid of that defense anymore. The Rams just went up to Seattle and put a whooping on them, like you said. So this team is not feared anymore around the league, and I just think it's time to move on and go in a different direction.
Just listen to these stats. These are now granted these are not bad stats, but when we're talking about Seattle, these are not good. They are 15th in yards per game on defense, 12th in points, and 13th in the pass. What happened to being top 5 pass defense?
Yeah.
That was what really made them who they were.
That's what I'm saying. They had Legion of Boom for years. You had Brandon Brown or Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor. Now all you have is Richard Sherman, and he's hurt, and then Chancellor's hurt, and you got a bunch of scrubs playing cornerback. They built through the draft to start this team, and they got a couple of gems late in the round. Richard Sherman was the 5th round pick. Yeah, like you said, Bobby Wagner, 3rd round pick. So they got some gems, and the guys that they just haven't been able to replace those type of players that with backups to be consistent.
Maybe it's time to go back to that route. Maybe trade these guys, get picks, and go back to let's start from the bottom and build it back up again.
I'm gonna tell you another big stat that I want people to think about. Russell Wilson, everybody knows he's having MVP type season, over 3,600 passing yards, 30 touchdown passes. He's playing great football. But let me tell you the big problem I have with Seattle's offense. He is the leading rusher on this team at 521 yards on the season.
Why is your quarterback the leading rusher?
Exactly. Their second leading rusher is Chris Carson with 208 yards. That's awful. That is awful. As a team, they have just over 1,400 rushing yards. Players, other running backs in this league have 1,400 rushing yards at this point in the season. They need to get a dominant running back, not a dominant, but somebody to take pressure off of Russell Wilson for them to have continued success in the future.
I think Chris Carson was playing well before his injury. He was averaging over 4 yards a carry. But he was playing good football until he went down. But I agree. Even with the injury, why is Russell Wilson still the leading runner? Now, granted, that just shows how talented Russell Wilson is at the same time.
But he could have those same stats and have another guy have 600 rushing yards,
700,
something like that. I'm not really looking for them to have a 1,000-yard rusher with him because you have Russell Wilson. They run a lot of read options and stuff like that. So I'm not looking for anything for them to have a 1,000-yard rusher next to him. But you got to take some pressure off from him and get the play action pass going.
Yeah, I agree, but definitely I feel maybe they should trade some of these key pieces and get picks, load up, start from what made y'all good in this first place, and then I just feel after that butt whipping, it's time to start over.
Another thing, too, trading some of these guys is going to clear up a lot of cap. Richard Sherman, a big deal. Russell Wilson, a big deal. Earl Thomas, big contract. So
Taylor has a big contract.
Yeah, so those guys, you get rid of some of those contracts, maybe they can start making some runs in free agency.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe help that offensive line out a little, too.
Yes, absolutely.
So definitely start over, but I feel like after what just happened this past week and the Steelers-Patriots game, we got to talk about what is your idea of a catch?
Oh, that was a catch.
Without
a shadow of a doubt, that's a catch.
To me, I feel it's a catch because you look at it. All right, he catches the ball clearly. His knee hits the ground. Everybody knows the rule. If one knee hits the ground, that is considered 2 feet. Catch the ball, knee hits the ground. That's a completion. Stretches the ball out. Ball gets a little loose. His right arm still looks to be around it. But this is a great point that I want to make. If the ground can't cause a fumble, why can it cause an incomplete pass?
True. Hey, but listen, I agree to the rule to a certain extent that a guy has to maintain possession of the ball when he comes to the ground, but this is totally different. This guy made a football move and reached the ball out towards the end zone. It's not like he caught it in the end zone and then when he fell backwards. This guy made a football move. That was the issue. They were saying he didn't make a football move.
I feel he did.
By
stretching out.
He caught the ball in his chest and then reached it out to score. That's a touchdown. So the NFL has a lot of work to do. You had a Des Bryant thing a couple years ago with his catch that was ruled incomplete. So they need to clear this up because this is ridiculous. And so many times this happened before. We have a guy that makes a catch or doesn't make a catch, and it's a topic of controversy. So this needs to be handled in the off season, and they need to stop giving the referees a chance to have some make an opinion instead of having a fact. So make the rule more certain instead of just kind of a gray area.
So it's 50-50, just depends who the ref is.
Exactly. Have a certain criteria like this guy, he catches the ball, you put 2 feet. If he moves forward, that's a catch, something like that. To have it where each play is guaranteed, you have a clear-cut decision.
Clear-cut decision, because I agree. I feel like him stretching it out, that's a football move. He stretched the ball out.
And it's inconsistent, too, because like you said, with the refs, if they would have had different referees, in that game.
Maybe they called a touchdown.
Exactly. So that's why the rule's inconsistent.
Yeah, so I think that was pretty much enough said there. We basically made our point, so.
That was a catch, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. I feel that's a catch. Everything that went on, I just feel it's a catch. But, dude, I feel like one team we got to talk about. We haven't really talked about them yet on the show.
I feel bad not talking about them, too.
The Jacksonville Jaguars, man. They're 10-4. Talk about coming out of nowhere.
I'm gonna go on the record right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars are the most dangerous team in the AFC. Not the Patriots, not the Steelers, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have a great defense. Their offense plays really well. I know everybody's been trashing on Blake Bortles. He's not having a bad season, though. 19 touchdown passes, 8 interceptions. Give this man some love. I was on his trying to tell him that he wasn't a good quarterback neither.
Almost 300 yards rushing, too.
Exactly. So he's having a great season. And Leonard Fournette, give me the ball, young fella, man. Having an outstanding season, 923 yards rushing, and he's missed 2 or 3 games.
That's what I'm saying. He'd have over 1,000
exactly
easily if it wasn't for the missed
They're going to get him back. Jacksonville Jaguars, look for them to be a really big threat in the AFC.
And this is for anybody that's out there. Everybody knows they have a great defense. Everybody's seen it. But anybody out there that's thinking, man, well, their offense isn't that good. I beg to differ. Their offense is 6th in yards in the entire NFL. 6th in total yards. Overall yards. First in rushing, granted. I mean, you have Leonard Fournette. And then you have guys like Chris Ivory stepped up. T.J. Yeldon has stepped up.
Like you said, Blake Bortles having quarterback runs.
Blake Bortles has been running the ball. It's been a run by committee. Even when Fournette's out, they've had guys come in and step up. And they're 5th in points with 27 points a game. Their offense is not bad or trash like everybody thinks it. No, their offense is actually pretty good. It's above average. I mean, Bortles is not the most flashiest quarterback, but with that running game, he doesn't need to be. You don't need to be flashy when you have a great running game like they do.
Yep. Rhetorical question here. How do you win championships? Defense. And a running game.
Defense, yeah.
And they have probably the 2 best in those categories. So in order to win on the road, they have to go to New England, go to Pittsburgh.
Got to play defense.
They got to play defense, shut down these wide receivers, and got to run the ball. And they can do both of those things. Look for them to be a real danger.
And this is some more stats. Giving credit to their defense. They're 3rd in yards per game, only giving up 284 yards. This is the crazy stat. They only give up 169 passing yards a game. Whew. You know what the next closest is?
No fly zone.
Is Denver. You want to know how far away they are? Granted, I just said Jacksonville was 168. Denver's in second with 188.
Yeah, this
Jacksonville has a 20-yard difference from first to second. That just shows you how dominant their pass defense
Dude, they have
is.
They have the best quarterback duo in the league. You got AJ Bowie.
Jalen Ramsey's a stud.
Oh, he's a monster. He's a freaking monster. I'm not gonna give AJ Bowie has. You know how many interceptions he has on the season? 6.
That's great.
They are
That is
just tearing it up. I mean, you look at, you play fantasy football, so do I. I'm sure a lot of our viewers do. Their defense is number 1 fantasy defense in all of the league. You know why? Because they get turnovers and they score on defense. They don't turn, those turnovers into, 2 or 3 yard gains. They get turnovers and they're trying to score on those turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, they have 20 interceptions as a team.
Exactly.
Like, they force turnovers. Their defense is outstanding. And I agree. Like, you look at them, they are a very dangerous team, and don't consider them that team like, all right, they're just going to make the playoffs and lose. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think they're going to, whoever they play, they're going to give them their money's worth.
They already beat Pittsburgh. They throttled them 39 early in the season.
Yeah.
It's a different Pittsburgh team now. They're better,
Yeah,
but still.
Pittsburgh's better than I remember earlier in the year, we were calling them fake.
Yeah.
Now, they're not. They're
real, but still, I'm just saying, Jacksonville has all the confidence in the world to beat anybody that they play.
Yep, and I agree. I mean, even Blake Bortles, he came out showing confidence today by saying, he's like, if y'all think I'm trash, well, I'm fine being trash.
I mean, he's playing winning football.
Exactly, 10-4.
Give it to him.
Very 2 winnable games to end the year. They could easily finish 12-4.
Give him the credit he deserves. Like I said, 19 touchdowns, and interceptions. He's not having a great MVP type season, but this guy's playing winning football right now. You can't sit here and hate on the guy. The guy's doing what he needs to do, and I give props to him for blocking out the noise and just putting his head down and going to work every morning.
Go and play ball. Go
Exactly.
ball out with the young fella. But some great points we made there. But I feel like the matchup we got to talk about. Being down here.
Baby, I'm ready for this game.
Round 2 of Falcons versus
The
Saints.
sequel, boy, the sequel. I'm ready for Sunday. I just want to give a little pep talk to all those Saints fans we got watching. We need y'all loud on Sunday. Pack that dome, because I smell an ass whooping coming. About to roast some Falcon.
Oh my gosh,
I'm ready, boy.
I don't know about. I think it's gonna be a good game. I think it's gonna be close.
It's gonna be a good game, but y'all are gonna get turned. I mean, we're just gonna get turned up as a city. You're turned every game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pack the Superdome and get loud. It's time to go.
It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be good. Hopefully, the official league's a little bit better in this game. I hate to see officials decide games, which I don't think they decided the last game. I just think
you don't think they decided the last game.
They were bad as
You're
a
gonna
whole.
look me in the face and tell me that the referee's gonna determine the result of that game. Come on, man. Get out of here with that.
Well, let's at least make that field goal.
Get out of here with that, man. Get out of here with that. That's all right. We're gonna show them what we all about on Sunday.
We're gonna see. We definitely gonna see.
Because there ain't gonna be no concussion with Alvin Kamara.
Yeah. That was another big injury that might definitely had a big impact on the game. A prediction, final score. Gotta ask it.
I'm gonna go 24-17.
Saints, obviously.
Saints, yeah.
I'm gonna go. I think this game might be a little bit more high scoring, not crazy more. I'm not gonna go like it. I think it's gonna be 27-24 Saints.
Well, the first.
It's hard for me saying that, being a fan, but Saints at home. Need the win to kind of keep their division winning.
I just want to let everybody know too. This game has huge implications. I mean, huge. Falcons win out, they win a division. Saints win out, they win a division. You don't want to play on the road to start off the playoff run. So this is a huge game for somebody to get at least one home playoff game.
I know the Falcons. If they win, they just clinch a playoff spot.
Same thing with the Saints.
And as you said, if we went out, we clinch the division. So
Right.
definitely, this is a huge game. Decides a lot.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
we're gonna wait and see.
And
we're both gonna be watching.
The Falcons need to win too, because they're on the brink of playoff hopes right now. So they got to win.
They need to win at least one of the. They win just one of these last 2 games, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah,
they just got to
exactly.
win one. But obviously, you don't want to just win one. You want to win out, win
Right.
the
And
division.
you got Carolina next too, so that's a tough game.
Very tough game for Atlanta. Two tough games. So we're just gonna wait and see. Definitely gonna be keeping our eyes on that. We'll be watching. I mean, it's a huge game, and we'll just see. I hope it's a good game. I just really hope it's a good game to watch and everything. So
Who dat, baby?
Definitely, we that baby. We just gonna be waiting.
Yeah,
to
y'all
see.
gonna rise up, but y'all gonna get shut down Sunday.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
All right.
We shall see. Dion gonna be flying all over the place. Getting
If he injures Alvin Kamara again, it might be a little fatality on the field.
Reggie Bush might come out
Exactly, out of
with a baseball
retirement.
bat.
Baseball bat.
So, all right, moving on from there, going on to the NBA here. I'm going to let you start this off. I know you want to talk about the struggles of your Pelicans.
Dude, I got a lot to get off my chest about this. Please, for the love of God, fire Alvin Gentry. Fire Alvin Gentry. Say it with me. Fire Alvin Gentry.
He needs to be fired.
This
without
dude
a doubt.
needs to be gone. Pelicans are too talented of a basketball team to be where they're at right now. It's unacceptable. Right now they're sitting at the 8th seed. They're 15 and 16. You got DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis, Drew Holiday's having a resurgent season, 18 points per game. Let me give you a stat here. I just want to say this out loud. The Pelicans are second in the NBA in assists per game. So this team should not be 15 and 16.
You want to know what's that? Why they are where they are?
Oh, I know why they are. The turnovers.
They're third in the league in turnovers.
Exactly. And it's the same thing every single game. Every single game, they move the ball and they get turnovers. Their defense is not highly ranked because of the turnovers. So as a coach, you got to figure out a way to eliminate these turnovers. You can't just put on the players. Now, is it the players' fault sometimes? Absolutely. But for some reason, you just keep doing the same things. It's not going to result in different results. So, Alvin Gentry, you got to change the style of play that you're playing with. This up-tempo system, I've been saying it doesn't work. You got Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins. Slow the basketball down, get them on the block, pound in the paint, and win games like that. You got a bunch of shooters. Etuan Moore's having a great season. He's leading the NBA in three-point percentage in the month of December, leading the NBA. That's ahead of guys like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, all these great shooters. And Etuan Moore, the shooting guard for the Pelicans, well, he plays small forward, but the guard for the Pelicans is leading the NBA in three-point percentage. So don't tell me you can't put the ball in the post and you don't have shooters. Put the ball on the block, they double team, you kick it out. This team should not be running up-tempo style. You're getting Anthony Davis and Marcus Cousins tired, and it's not working out. You got Rajon Rondo, a great ball handler. Give them the ball in the block. Have a cut system where you give them the ball in the paint and they cut to the basket and have the guards that's cut. And you get wide open layups. It's simple basketball offense. You don't need to complicate it. This is not the Golden State Warriors. We need to be playing slow down basketball. Alvin Gentry needs to be fired.
I agree. Sounds like you really got that all out of your chest. You were holding that in all week.
Man, I was fired up last night when we lost that game.
Yeah.
Just a lack. I mean, he's lost the team. No effort last night. I mean, zero effort. It's just like we're just out there running through the motions.
Yeah, I think Gentry needs to get fired. And honestly, I feel Debs is afraid to fire him because I feel like he probably feels if he fires Gentry, he's firing himself since he was.
It has to come from upper management because this would be Dempsey's third coach, so it can't. Dempsey's got to go too. Which
I think it needs to be started over to get rid of them both.
Which it is a fragile situation because of Cousins being a free agent and stuff.
Want to, scare him away. Think, oh well, this is they're.
And he's already been through a lot of coaches with Sacramento, so you kind of want to have a trust factor. But I think they got to make it this. Look, if you don't
sit them down and tell them, look, we're firing Gentry for you guys.
And if you don't know, go check out I wrote an article about this on the daily riff.weebly.com. It's our blog. Michael has a great article about the Yankees too. And I just want to let everybody know if you don't know what I'm talking about. This year is a huge year for the Pelicans. Huge year, and I wrote about it on the article. Time is ticking. It reminds me a lot of 2014. If we lose DeMarcus Cousins in free agency this year, it's gonna be another rebuild.
You're gonna look back at this like, why didn't we fire Gentry?
We're right, and it's gonna be another rebuild. So, like I said, this year is so important. This might be the most important season of New Orleans Pelicans basketball.
Of late, definitely.
No, I think it's the most important season of all.
In
history, because you have such fragile situation. You have DeMarcus Cousins. Right now, we have a chance to build a winner on Anthony Davis. So if we lose DeMarcus Cousins now, it's another small rebuild. So you're looking at 2 or 3 years before we're contenders again. And then by then, Anthony Davis is ready to be a free agent again, and we might lose him. And that's what I'm most afraid of. I'm most afraid of losing Anthony Davis to free agency or in a trade. So this year, to me, is the most important year in our franchise's history. And we cannot let it go and not try to take advantage of it. So that's why I think Alvin Gentry, you need to fire him now before it gets too late. And that's why this season is not wasted. We have to make the playoffs. It's not a question or if or can we. There's no failure. We have to make the playoffs or this is a failed season.
I agree. This team's too talented not to make the playoffs. They got to make play. And I don't think not only do they have to make the playoffs, I think they got to compete. Don't just make it and get swept.
Yeah.
Go in there and compete. This team's too talented. I mean, Rajon Rondo is a great point guard for this team. You have 2 bigs. You have Drew Holiday's been playing well. Etuan Moore averaging 13 points. Great to see him playing well. Too much talent. I mean, you have guys playing, but Etuan Moore is not a 13 points a game scorer. And this year he has been. So, I mean, this team, you look at the stats, the guys are playing well. But it's like Gentry.
That's what I'm saying.
So much talent.
And I think most of the turnover problem has come because of the system. They're trying to push the ball and force it.
This team's not
into bad situations.
Slow it down.
That's what I'm saying.
Slow it down.
You got to
run some sets. Get Drew in the corner. Get it to your bigs down low. You two are the most talented bigs in the league.
When we made the playoffs in 2014, Monty Williams' system was a lot of pick and roll. That would be perfect here because you have 2 bigs that can
Williams
shoot.
Would be the perfect coach for this
He absolutely would. And I don't want to. Everybody knows me. want him back, but it is what it is right now. But like I said, this team could be a really good pick and roll team, and they're not because they're playing more of a Golden State Warriors type, spread the ball out and shoot it type team. When you've got two bigs that can shoot, you can run a lot of pick and roll, pick and pop, and have a guy in the corner. So when they slide and try to cover the roll man, you can kick it out for open threes. So this, I don't agree with the system that's going on right now. And I think most of the turnovers are due to that system, and they're trying to force the ball into situations that aren't there. If that makes sense.
I agree. Definitely need to just let him go, stick it out with an interim for the rest of the year, and then find the right coach in the offseason.
Yeah.
So, but moving on to another NBA team I want to talk about, who is kind of the opposite of the Pelicans right now. They are hot right now. That is the Houston Rockets. Have been just on fire this year. You're the first in the West right now. I mean, are they the best team in the West? Do you think?
That's a tough one. They're the hottest team right now, but Golden State's still a team to beat. They're still the best team in my opinion. But I would absolutely love to see a Houston Rockets versus Golden State Warriors.
Oh my God, James Harden. I mean, I would just love it. I think it'd be a great Western Conference Finals. Watching him go to work and going against his old buddy KD. He's gonna try to show up for him. And then Chris Paul. Fun fact: Houston Rockets have not lost a game this year when Chris Paul has played.
Oh, that's not surprising. Look at their assist numbers. 9.3 assists for Chris Paul.
They have two guys averaging over 9 assists right now.
Exactly. So they're gonna be a team that's.
And I'm really pleased with is Clint Capella. 14 points. 11 rebounds, almost 2 blocks a game. What a great year for him. Definitely.
He'd be an all-star in the East.
Oh, in the East, yeah. I mean, not the West. West has too much talent.
No, you got DeMarcus and stuff like that, but
the East, yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely think he might be up there for most improved player. He'll be up there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to win it. I just think he's going to be in the conversation.
Absolutely.
The way he's playing. I think he's been a huge key piece for them, and he's proven, going kind of way back, why they let go of Dwight Howard. Because they felt like Clint Capella had something special in him.
Clint Capella is basically Dwight Howard 2.0. Because of Dwight Howard at this stage in his career, he's more of just a rebounder and put bad dunks. But Clint Capella is a younger version of Dwight Howard, the version that he was with the Rockets. So Clint Capella was a clear choice, and he's able to make effort plays because of his motor and his energy. And I just love his game. If you watch them play, I've watched a couple Rockets games this season, and when they run pick and roll with him and Harden, it's unstoppable.
It's amazing.
Unstoppable.
It's beautiful to watch.
You can't stop it. And then when they have Eric Gordon on the floor, you have two shooters.
Get the ollie. I mean, nobody can stop it.
Nobody can stop it. So they're a team to be.
And they're fun to watch.
Oh, they're
great. They're fun to watch. I think
Mike D'Antoni's teams are always fun to watch.
Definitely the matchup between them and the Warriors would be great to see. I'm not ready to say they're better than the Warriors. They have to prove it. Go beat them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Then I'll come out and say it. But like you said, Warriors are defending champs. Of course, they're the team to beat. So we're just gonna just kind of wait and see with it. But I definitely this Rockets team is for real, and I'm very, very intrigued to see how they finish the year and how the rest of the playoffs go. But kind of moving on here. Baseball. Kind of keeping the baseball talk going.
Dude, last week baseball got us fired up.
Yes, it did. I was very fired up. But kind of this week, I feel like, you might see after this week the downfall. You might see the trickle effect of some big free agent signings going on. So right now, let's give our predictions. Who we think where each one is going. Starting off with Yu Darvish. Where do you think he's going to be start of a 2018 season?
I'm going to go with the Houston Astros. Very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very attractive team for him. I think, with them winning the World Series and he played against them. I know that the Cubs interview went really well that I heard of. I heard that, got a report about that saying it went really well. But I just think Houston's going to be very attractive for him going there and having a chance to compete for a championship right away.
I'm going to go, you just kind of mentioned, though, I'm going to go with the Cubs.
Cubbies.
I just feel, I heard, like you said, the meeting went good with them. I just feel it's a perfect situation. They're a good team. When you look at them, what do they need?
Pitching. And they're losing Jake Arrieta.
I don't think Jake Arrieta goes back, honestly. I think he signed a big deal somewhere else. So that's why I feel like he'd be perfect replacement for them. And, he's after, especially what just happened in the World Series, he's going to be fired up, looking to kind of bounce back. And, I mean, last year was a good year for him. He had 3.86 ERA combined. So I think just the Cubbies. I feel it's a perfect situation. Cubbies just need pitching to get back to the World Series, I think.
I think the two front runners are definitely the Cubs and the Astros.
Yeah, I agree. I just feel the Cubs, but I feel like a sleeper team for him is the Twins. Sleeper team. I'm not saying he's going to go there. Damn. Sleeper team. They have money. They don't have any big guys. Maybe a sleeper, they go out and get them. But I'm going to My prediction is the Cubs. They need pitching. They're going to get a pitcher and replace Arrieta.
Okay.
But then moving on to the next guy, JD Martinez. Where is he to start the 2018 season?
Red Sox.
Red Sox.
They need to make a move to combat what the Yankees did with Giancarlo. They need a power bat in their lineup, so he fits the mold. I just think it makes too much sense.
I agree. They need home runs. I mean, they compete with the Yankees now after getting Giancarlo. They need a guy to go out there and just, bomb some home runs for them. I mean, coming off his best year of his career, hitting 45 home runs, 104 RBIs, without a doubt, best season of his career. Keep riding it. I just feel it's perfect fit. And I feel like if they get him, I see Jackie Bradley getting traded and moving Mookie to center. I don't know for what. I just see them moving him because Hanley's the DH. They just re-signed Mitch Moreland, so obviously Mitch is the first. So unless they feel like paying Jackie Bradley to be that backup outfielder, I see them keep getting JD and then trading Jackie Bradley because Mookie Betts and Andrew Benintendi are the future.
I can see that happening too.
So we're both in agreement. Red Sox.
Red Sox.
All right. Next guy I want to talk about, Eric Hosmer. Where do you think he's going to be to start the 2018 season?
This team has not really been on his radar, but I'm going to go with the Yankees. I think the Yankees, they have Giancarlo, they got Aaron Judge. I think Eric Hosmer would be a perfect DH first baseman option for them. I know they have other guys like Ellsbury and Brett Gardner, but those guys can't bat the same way that this guy can do. So why not go after the best bats you can? You already have your two good outfielders, so go after Eric Hosmer. I know their first baseman last year was Greg Bird. They expected big things from him. He's still kind of young, so maybe he can turn into the guy they hope him to be. But why take that risk when you can go get a guy like Eric Hosmer, who's a guaranteed production guy in your lineup?
I like it. It's good, but I'm gonna go. You do a little sleeper. Nobody's probably thinking. You know where I'm gonna go? San Diego Padres.
Oh my goodness.
They need a guy to build their franchise around. They're kind of the rebuild. They have Will Myers. Why not get Will a buddy? Go get him, Eric Hosmer. You have two all-stars in the same team. That would be a fun little 3-4 combination punch.
And they need a guy too to be their face and help the young guys out. They have a good farm system.
Especially Hosmer coming off his best year, batting .318.
Yeah.
Only one other year did you finish batting above .300. So, and one other reason why I like Eric Hosmer, played 162 games last year. How many games are there in the season? 162. Exactly. Played every game. And then 2 years before that, 158 and 158. The dude he plays. He doesn't get hurt.
He's an Iron Man.
Yeah, he's true Iron Man. So I'm going to go San Diego Padres. Guy to build the franchise around. I think it'd be perfect fit for him because, the Padres have the money to go get him. And then it'd be, great for the Padres because they have a guy to build their franchise around.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Padres. But the last big name I really want to talk about, Jake Arrieta. Where does he go? Does he stay with Cubs? Is he gone? What do you think?
I like kind of a team that is not really a contender but needs some pitching. Like maybe I'm not gonna say one team. I'm gonna say several. Like maybe the Cardinals or the Brewers or the Twins. Just a team like that. They need pitching. If the Astros don't get Yu Darvish, they strike out with him. I could see them going after another pitching arm, maybe go after Jake Arrieta. But I just see him going to where the money's at and just going to be a number one with a team like the Brewers or the Cardinals or somebody like that.
Those are some good options. And one of my team that I think he's going to be with is one of the teams you mentioned. I think he's going to go to the Brewers. Brewers, they missed the playoffs by one game last year. One game. Their pitching staff was way better than expected last year. They had their young guys played well. Why not go get a pitching vet who has been great as of late to help lead this team? Get him to the postseason. I just think it'd be a great fit. Milwaukee has the money to pay him the kind of money he wants. And then Milwaukee needs an ace. He'd be perfect. You can sign him, you have your ace. I just think it's a win-win for everybody. I think if they sign him, they'll definitely make the playoffs next year.
I could see them, like I said, I could see him going there. It's a good fit. Good fit for him, and they have money to pay him. He's going to want a big deal. He deserves it. He's had a great couple seasons. He's put them together, and I just think...
The only thing that scares me is he's 32.
Yeah.
It's hard giving big contracts out to the 32, but...
He
deserves it. He deserves it.
A team like the Brewers, they can afford to take that risk because they need big
names. That risk because they
need
to get to the postseason again. So
Exactly.
I think they need to take that risk. But kind of close it out with baseball talk. A big trade happened today. The longtime Rays, Evan Longoria, was traded to the San Francisco Giants.
I think it's a great trade for both teams. Evan Longoria, not really in his prime anymore, but he's still a very good player. It's a good trade for the Giants. I think they get a great third baseman, and he can really help them get over the hump into a playoff contender. And if they get some more free agents like they've been going after, look for them to be a sleeper contender next year. But another reason why I like to trade, like I said, I like it both ways because the Rays, they get the Giants' #1 prospect, so they have a guy that maybe they can use as their franchise centerpiece for years to come.
Yeah, I like the trade. I feel it's good for the Giants because, they were last in the league in home runs last year. They need a little pop in their lineup. So I feel like the trade was perfect for them. It was good for the Rays, too. They got Christian Arroyo, who's the #1 prospect for the Giants. And they got 2 good pitching prospects out of it. I feel it was a good trade. Because, the Rays, I feel like they need to rebuild. Trade all your assets while you can.
Right.
And, just rebuild. Build for the future. Because, let's be real here. That AL East, it's all Yankees, Red Sox. All Yankees,
absolutely.
Red Sox. You need to just rebuild and just try and get your team younger and better.
Yeah.
But I think it's good for the Giants. You get a good power bat. You get a little cornerstone in your third base. I see the Giants maybe, trying to get back to the postseason this year. And I think with Denard Span being a part of the trade, a team I can see a player on the Giants, I see the Giants winning, maybe Lorenzo Cain to kind of fill that center role. But we'll see. That's my prediction for Lorenzo Cain now is I think he goes to San Fran. But I think it's a good trade. And we'll see if the Giants, how big it turns out for them. See if if it helps them get back to the postseason.
Yep.
But to close it out, as always, start of the week. Who you got? I feel like I'm really gonna enjoy this one.
Yeah, man, this is really emotional for me. Anybody who knows me knows I'm going through kind of a rough time with my family. My dad had throat cancer, so my start of the week is gonna be him. Yesterday, he found out that he's cancer free, and I just want to say, he's my start of the week. Best man I know. Toughest guy I know, and just to anybody out there, if you're going through something, no matter what it is, don't give up and just keep fighting, because if you put your mind to it, you can defeat anything in this world.
I'm very happy for you, Mr. Steve. I'm so glad to hear that you defeated cancer. Definitely, without a doubt, a stud. No doubt in mind.
He's
Way
my
to
star of
tough
the
that
week.
out. But my start of the week, Todd Gurley, man, was a monster this week against Seattle. 21 carries, 152 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 catches, 28 yards, a touchdown, 4 total touchdowns. Helped demolish Seattle this week, without a doubt. My stud of the week, the Georgia boy.
Bulldog.
Loved it. Loved watching him go off. Loved seeing Bulldog guys go off. So without a doubt, stud of the week. Oh, glad to see he made the Pro Bowl. Well deserved.
Yep.
So definitely my stud of the week.
Good choice.
But as always, to close out our show, who's your shout out this week?
My shout out just gonna go to all my family and friends who supported us throughout this time, and thank you, and I love y'all for everything y'all have done.
Great, I love it, man. And that's just powerful. I'm so glad to hear that he beat cancer, and I hope nothing but the best for Mr. Steve.
Yep.
But to kind of close it out, as we were saying earlier, there will not be a show next week because of the Christmas holidays. Both me and Austin are going to be enjoying time with our families. But definitely stay tuned. We will try and post some articles up next week. Don't know on what yet, but definitely stay tuned. We will keep y'all posted. And there will be a show the Wednesday after next. So stay tuned. And as always, good night, America.